Hello. Welcome to I Am Wisdom with your host, Katrina Cavanough. I Am Wisdom is all about the connection between mind work and energy work, spirituality, and finding easy, everyday ways to heal your life. Katrina Cavanough is a qualified therapist and one of Australia's leading intuitives and spirituality coaches. Katrina will be taking your calls and bringing you some special guests. Settle in, relax, and enjoy the healing on I Am Wisdom with Katrina Cavanough on OMTimes Radio.
Hi, it's Katrina Cavanough here, and you're listening to I Am Wisdom. Welcome to the show, and I have to say that it's an amazing day here in Australia, because here in Australia it's actually Australia Day, or some Australia Day, I should pronounce it correctly. Some of our slang, some of the Australian slang we use sometimes is because we're so gentle, should I say, with our pronunciation of our words, we can often tend to say Australia rather than Australia. So there's this really cool there's this really cool YouTube clip which I've posted on my site at the moment, which is celebrating Australia. So if you're not from Australia and you'd like to get some beautiful imagery about all the things that we are and all that we create and all that we do, then certainly jump online to my Facebook page and have a look there, because I've posted that there. So to all the people listening here in Australia, happy Australia Day, and to all the people listening who are from other parts of this amazing place that we call the world and the planet, then welcome to this special Australia Day show. I'd like to begin by saying to you that today we're going to be talking about the 5 wisdoms, what I refer to as the 5 wisdoms, and I'll explain to you more about those, of course, because the whole show is about that. Before we get there, though, what I would like to do is actually bring you to my Facebook page. So I have Facebook is a wonderful, wonderful platform or a place to form a beautiful community. And I really believe that the people who gather on my Facebook page are people who like to share the beautiful aspects of life. They're people who would like to feel, who would like to feel truly connected to all that they are. They're people who aren't afraid to share their shadow side, as I'm the same. I'm happy to share with you, as I do on my Facebook page, the things that I find wonderful about life and the things that I find challenging about life. I also share with you some of my story, which is quite interesting, if I do say so myself. And the way I guess I have moved through some pretty interesting challenges in my life, right through my childhood until now. So I like to share bits and pieces of that, not necessarily just to share. The reason to share that with you is to say, this has been my experience. This is what I have found has worked for me. Just as I share sometimes, this is generally what's happening with my client group at the moment. These are some stories that I hear from my clients. These are some of their experiences, and this is the way that we worked together to step through that time in their life, that crisis in their life, that period of grief in their life, that period of time when they just absolutely doubted themselves or didn't know themselves. So I share with you bits and pieces, and the reason I do that is to not bore you. The reason I do that is to actually hopefully inspire you to read it. And if you're someone who is actually struggling with that part of your life right now, then you can read that, and then you can maybe see that as an invitation to work on that part of yourself. Because what I know for sure is that when we work on parts of ourselves that feel heavy, they don't feel light, they feel difficult, they feel sad, and sometimes they can feel absolutely overwhelming. When we give that part of our life just a little bit of attention, it's amazing the transformation that can take place. I always say to most of my clients, look, if you come and see me or you do work with me, then I don't see that as a 10-year experience. I think a lot of really effective work can be done in a very short period of time if we're all on the same page. So if I have someone sitting before me who is absolutely ready to change something in their life, there's something they're really tired of, but they just can't find their own way out of it, because that's what happens to all of us, myself included. When it's you and your life and you and your feelings, you can't have sometimes the clarity that, sitting down with another person that they can give you. And I think it's not only about sitting down with another person. It needs to be someone who has the capacity to be truly empathic, has the capacity to truly put aside their own need to burst out some unsolicited advice, and just to be absolutely present with you in the moment of what you're experiencing. And then once that has occurred, from there, the two of you find your way through and out of the experience that you're feeling. And that's the way I work with people. I'm not saying that sometimes I can be, once I have a good relationship with you, I'm certainly going to coach, is the word I would use, you out of or through, or support you through the experience. So I will invite you. I will sometimes, present ways of seeing your situation a little bit differently to the way you're seeing it now. And the reason for that is because it's all about different perspective. I know that when I've changed a lot, been going through changes in my life, it's been sometimes another person saying to me, Katrina, have you not seen it this way? And in that instant, I think Oprah calls it the aha moment, and it's a worldwide phrase now because she said that. But in that moment of the aha moment, in that instant, sorry, of the aha moment, great change can happen. And that can be a few seconds. So for me, that's the way I work with you. It's really important that I support you, to meet you where you're at right now, to, even if I haven't had that direct experience myself, because of course one person can't have all of them, but to be empathic, just to be with you in that moment, with you in that experience, to always say, I don't know how you feel, because even if I have had the same experience as you, not one person knows how another person feels, because they can't know. They can't know because each person has their own unique perspective and their own unique lens. But when I work with people, I say to them, look, there's no way I could know how you feel, and I'm not going to patronize you by saying that. But what I'm willing to do is be with you, and then together we can find a way out into the place that you want to be, which is a state, let's face it, a state of freedom, a state of happiness, and complete liberation from the things that have bound you and held you down in life. And that's what I'm all about. So my Facebook page is the usual facebook.com/, and it is my name, Katrina Cavanough. So Katrina, Cavanough, Cavanough. So if you would like to join me there, I must say after last week I had a few extra people come and join me, and had a few people message me as well. I had a wonderful week last week because I had another one of my articles shared on a global platform, and it meant that I had a real surge in the number of people who came to my Facebook page and joined in, and that makes my heart really warm. You'll hear me say to that a lot. I talk a lot about my heart being warm, because it just feels like that, doesn't it? Like when something's lovely, just you can feel it in the core of your being, in your heart. You can feel this great warmth, and I love that feeling, as everyone does. So I talk about that a lot. I talk about from my heart to yours. My heart is warm, because we know the heart is the center of who we are. So I love it when people come and join my page, because it gives me an opportunity for you to be part of the community. It's a very positive community. If people aren't positive, then they just usually go. I haven't ever had to evict anyone from my page, I must say. But if that happens, I'm good. I love boundaries, and I'll do a show on that one time. And certainly, we don't have anyone there that's not of a positive way. And a very honest way. So come along. So it's Katrina Cavanough, facebook.com/Katrina Cavanough. Now I've opened up a post there today saying I'm taking questions and comments. So if you have something like an intuitive question, if you'd like me to do a reading on one aspect of your life, yes, I'll use the word psychic because that's the word that people understand. Not a word I love, but it's just because it doesn't fit with me. But that's, if you'd like me to use all that I am, including my intuition and my what some people refer to as psychic ability, clairvoyance. If you'd like to get online and get onto my Facebook page, like my page, and then actually ask a question, I'm certainly happy to answer that later on in the show today. Now, the topic for today's show is the 5 wisdoms, and if you recall from my last show, you'll remember that I talked to you about my experiences working with lots of deaths in an emergency room. And I talked and I shared with you that in that time of working over 10 years, I worked between 4 and 500 deaths, which is a lot of sudden and unexpected death. And I also shared with you that as a result of that, I communicated with some, not all, but with some of the souls who crossed as they were crossing over. And what they would talk to me about, and I tell these stories in my book, Wisdom for Your Life, published by Allen and Unwin, and you can get that online at Amazon or in hard copy. I know it's available in the US at Barnes and Noble, as well as at some other bookstores as well. Here in Australia, it's available in New Zealand, every good bookstore, and Amazon, of course. So there I was, and I tell these stories about my experiences where, as I would communicate with some of the souls, and as I was experiencing their death with them for some people, and for those that had came in and they were already deceased, I would communicate with their soul, and I would come to know some things about life. Because as they reflected on their own life stories, what I came to see were themes, and the themes are now what I refer to as the wisdoms. We're coming up for a break very shortly, but before we go to the break, I'm going to tell you briefly what those 5 wisdoms are, and we're going to talk more about them after the break. The first one is the wisdom of your powerful spirit. The second one is the wisdom of thoughts matter, and there's a different degree of understanding with that one. The third one is the preciousness of every moment, and again, there's a different understanding which I'll share with you. The fourth is freedom from regret, and the fifth is living in a state of acceptance. Those 5 wisdoms have changed my life. Those 5 wisdoms I've been given to share with you to support you to change your life. And that's one of the main reasons why I'm here on radio with you now. Because I feel the responsibility, it's a beautiful responsibility, but I feel the responsibility to take the stories and the wisdoms and the experiences that I have and bring them to you. We're coming into a break now. And I want to say to you, stay with me, because I'm going to be talking about the wisdoms, and we're going to begin with the wisdom of your powerful spirit.
Bringing a more conscious lifestyle to your world. OMTimes Radio. IOM FM. Join Elliot Jollish, the business therapist, each Tuesday at 5 p.m. Eastern for the Elliot Jollish Hour, as he interviews business experts on your behalf. And you're invited to email your business questions to questions@ecjgroup.com for answers, live, on air every Tuesday at 5 p.m. Eastern on the Elliot Jollish Hour. Being a radio host on IOM FM allows you to build your show on a rich platform with the power of the internet to fulfill your outreach goals and connect with a very specialized and global online audience, unlimited by time and distance. OMTimes Radio will provide you with web relevance, a recognizable conscious brand, and with the standard of excellence that has accompanied every single OMTimes endeavor. Host your show with OMTimes Radio Network. Simone Milasas would like you to know that business can be fun, which is why she wrote the book, Joy of Business. What if you could have the joy of business rather than the stress and struggle? Most of the time, the only thing stopping you from a thriving business is you. In the Joy of Business book, Simone gives you access consciousness tools and pragmatic ways to get out of your own way and to create the business, life, and living you know is possible and beyond what this reality says is achievable. Business is joy. It's creation. It's generative. It can be the adventure of living. You can purchase your copy of the book through Amazon or Joy of Business website, www.accessjoyofbusiness.com.
Radio Namaste leads you down the yellow brick road into portals of consciousness with the blue collar goddess as your host. Interviews with humans who could be famous or just popular, and answers to everything are on the agenda. Tune into OMTimes Radio and drop in on Thursdays at 3 Eastern. It's a different brand of enlightenment.
Connecting you with the best of the conscious minds in the world. OMTimes Radio. IOM FM.
Hello, it's Katrina Cavanough here, and you're listening to I Am Wisdom here today on OMTimes Radio. Well, I hope you're having a wonderful day. In the USA, I believe it's 5 p.m. or 5:18 at the moment, and here in Australia, it is 9:18 in the morning on Monday morning. It's a public holiday here in Australia, so there's many people who will be spending time with family and with friends. There'll be celebrations all day, celebrating Australia Day. And there'll be people gathering to enjoy fireworks in the evening and just generally doing all things Australian, which can be, anything, I'll kind of begin to list the way people celebrate Australia Day. Lots of barbecues, lots of fun, and lots of time with family and friends, really. The way we celebrate everything, really. So today I'm wanting to talk to you about the 5 wisdoms that I came across as I worked with people who were busy, who had passed away in the ER. And as I said to you before the break, the 5 wisdoms are your powerful spirit, the wisdom of your thoughts matter, the wisdom of the preciousness of every moment, 4th one being freedom from regret, and the 5th being living in a state of acceptance. Now, I have to say that I look at those on the surface, and apart from your powerful spirit, which I'm about to talk about today in depth, I look at those and thoughts matter. Well, we all know that. It's pretty straightforward. Thoughts do matter. And we know, and that for me was like, okay, well, I can see that generally as a theme. But the way I understand now that my thoughts matter is far different to the way I understood that my thoughts mattered from all my university qualifications, my 2 university degrees, and until that time, all the work I had done working with humans' behavior and relationships in my work as a therapist. So it was a very different and unique perspective, and one that I'll be definitely sharing with you on the show. So I guess I wanted to invite you to consider that while some of these, to be honest, when I look at them on the surface, thoughts matter, yeah. Acceptance, of course, they seem quite, I guess, the usual way that people would, fairly common themes in the self-help industry. I guess the way the perspective I have to offer you, the perspective that was given to me to share with you, is uniquely different. And certainly we'll be exploring that. So today I wanted to begin the conversation about the 5 wisdoms with the first wisdom, which is the wisdom of your powerful spirit. I'm going to spend today getting through as many of the wisdoms as we can, but to be honest with you, the wisdom of your powerful spirit is really a show all on its own. So if we only get through that one today, that's okay. We'll come back and I'll talk to you about the other ones on subsequent shows. So let's talk about the wisdom of your powerful spirit. This was, for me, one of the most powerful wisdoms because it invited me to consider myself in a very different way energetically. What happened was, when I was having all of these experiences, I said to my spiritual team, which I have a good connection with, I said to my spiritual team, what is the one message that you want me to take to the world? And this is the one that they highlighted for me. And I believe so much that this is a life-changing wisdom that that was the wisdom of your powerful spirit was actually the manuscript that I wrote, the submission I wrote for my book to the publishers was actually all about the wisdom of your powerful spirit. It was the whole book. So and of course, the rest is history. I spoke to beautiful Alan and Maggie from Alan and Unwin, and she, as I said to you last week, she said to me, Katrina, we don't want to publish that book. My spiritual team has asked me to ask you. She didn't use the word spiritual team, but her guides had asked her to ask me to write a book on my experiences overall with death and dying at the hospital, and then my experiences of what I came to know. So that's what I wrote, because of course, how could you say no? But I guess I'm sharing this with you because it demonstrates just how important I think it is. So let me explain what it is. For many years, I believed and understood through all my spiritual development that we are energy, we are a mind, we have a mind, we have a body, and we have a soul. And it was the soul that moved in and out of each lifetime and would take the form, we would take physical form with our bodies. And our mind, when I use the word mind, I take it beyond the concept of the physical brain, because it's really, for me, a representation of the energetic expression of our brain and our body and our heart. It's the energetic expression of our brain and heart wisdom coming together. So that's what I refer to as the mind, the body, and the soul. And so, of course, at every level of that understanding of myself, there is an energetic presence. I believe the mind has an energetic presence. The body, of course, has an energetic presence. And the soul, of course, has an energetic presence. What they showed me is that there is a fourth energetic dimension of ourselves. And I've written about this in an article called The Fourth Dimension, which I've published on a couple of other platforms. And what they showed me was the fourth energetic dimension of ourselves is the same energy as whatever you want to call it, God, the universe, source, higher power, whatever words, names, it doesn't matter. What I know truly from my spiritual friends is, Katrina, the name does not matter. A name is a name is a name. Was a message I received as a teenager, actually. A name is a name is a name. You can call us and describe us as you need to understand us. But to us, we are not they're not attached to that, but they understand the limitations of the human brain and capacity to conceptualize things. We do need to have categories and descriptions and things, bless us. So what they showed me was that we have this fourth energetic dimension of ourselves is the same energy as God, the universe, and source. So therefore, it is pure love, pure and infinite wisdom, pure and infinite compassion, infinite intuition, infinite health. It is infinite abundance. It is all that we consider God and the universe to be. And that energy, that space, is exactly what we are in the fourth dimension of ourselves. What that meant for me, I will add also that each of us has our own unique vibration of that. So just like we have our soul, and when I'm sitting doing a consultation with a client, I'll explain to them and say, your soul has its own unique vibration. Just like we all have a fingerprint, we all have our own unique vibration. That unique vibration extends out into our fourth dimension of ourselves. What was amazing for me to know this was, and the greatest thing that jumped out straight away for me was, what a relief. I actually am love. I am compassion. I no longer have to search out into some distant place to find this thing called self-love. This was huge, profound revelation to me. And I'm hoping that right now it's a profound revelation to you. Because when you realize that you don't have to search for love, you don't have to search to find yourself, you don't have to you don't have to, learn how to love yourself. I'm sorry, Whitney Houston, but you don't have to learn to love yourself. You don't. You don't. You just simply have to live in an awareness of who you actually and naturally are. So just like we have a heart that beats that we can't see, we can walk around day in, day out and know intellectually we have a heart, or we can't see the heart, but whether we're thinking about it or whether we're not thinking about it, it just simply is there. We can't change it. It simply is there. And that is the same as that fourth dimension of ourselves, and what I refer to as powerful spirit, my powerful spirit, your powerful spirit. Because when you live in awareness, and to shift your awareness, this is really simple. This is really easy. It's as simple as very, very gently, rather than looking outward to find a sense of love, to find the capacity to be compassionate, to find your wisdom, or to find your intuition. Rather than looking outside of yourself, there is a really simple truth. You just have to very, very gently shift your awareness to know that you already are all of those things. And how liberating is that? I found it to be such a great relief because, it's in my 20s, I would say in my teens, I began a great journey where, I didn't like myself. In fact, I hated and loathed every aspect of who I was. And that came from a time when, my childhood was a very interesting experiences, and I had parents who loved me but didn't know how to love me well. They didn't know how to love me and be there for me in a way that gave me a clear message that, Katrina, you are loved and you are lovable consistently over time. They did their own versions of it, bits and pieces here and there, long period of times for my dad, for example, where he, for a long period of time, was a beautiful, loving father, but then that changed. And then my mum, bless her, she just, she was a little bit, she struggled with, with being comfortable in her own skin. So, of course, how could she give me the love that was required, that any child needs and innately needs? So for a long time, I grew up with a great sense of self-loathing. And I didn't like it, and I was determined to transcend it and not have that, as I knew that life could be better. I knew. And so I began a journey where I would, work on myself and read books, and every now and again pop in and have a series of sessions with a therapist and then pop out again. And I learned a lot in those times. They were not invaluable. They were very valuable explorations. They were great. But for me, the greatest shift came when I realized that I no longer had to look outside there. I just had to sit and be aware of myself as all that I am, as mind, body, soul, and powerful spirit. When we come back, we're coming up to a break, and when we come back from the break, I'm going to do a very gentle and quick guided meditation with you. There won't be any background music. It'll just be the stillness and the silence that the lovely radio platform gives you. And that's important because it's in the silence and in the stillness that you can truly connect with all that you are. So I'm going to take you through a very easy step-by-step process that you can take yourself through at any time. And you can begin to feel what it feels like to experience yourself as your powerful spirit. So stay there. If you'd like to join me on my Facebook page, go to facebook.com/Katrina Cavanough, Cavanough. Come over there, like me, love you to like me, and let's enjoy the next part of the show. Stay with me.
The best of holistic, spiritual, and conscious world. OMTimes Radio. IOM FM.
The Laying On of Hands Healing Radio Show is about treating the whole person, mind, body, and spirit. Join me, Charles Smith, as I share life-balancing measures such as nutrition and spiritual practices to help you take charge of your own health and wellness every Thursday at 7 p.m. on OMTimes Radio.
Host your show on IOM FM, the radio network of OMTimes Media, one of the more recognized brand names in the conscious community, and is backed by the extensive marketing reach of OMTimes. Hosting a show on IOM FM immediately connects you with our extensive dedicated community. The number one reason girls drop out of school in sub-Saharan Africa is lack of access to feminine hygiene products. The Pads for Schoolgirls Project, an outreach of Humanity Healing International, is changing this paradigm by setting up sewing programs at schools, teaching girls a vocational skill, while producing the reusable pads that help keep them attending classes. The girls pay it forward by making and giving pad kits to other girls in need. To learn more, visit humanityhealing.org. Humanity Healing is where your heart is.
Hi, this is Angela Levesque, host of Entanglement Radio. Join me Wednesdays at 12 p.m. Eastern for inspiring conversations with visionaries in spiritual science and conscious healing. Entanglement Radio, Wednesdays at 12 p.m. Eastern. Transcendent talk for the conscious mind.
Bringing you the best of the conscious minds in the world. OMTimes Radio, your conscious lifestyle on steroids.
Hello, you're listening to I Am Wisdom with Katrina Cavanough. Thank you very, very much for joining me today, or this evening if you're in the United States. Today on the show, we're talking about the five wisdoms, and I've begun this conversation with the first wisdom, for me, one of the most powerful wisdoms, which is the wisdom of your powerful spirit. And I've just explained to you that this wisdom actually describes the fourth energetic field of ourselves. So beyond our minds, beyond our bodies, and beyond our soul is this fourth version of ourselves, energetic representation of ourselves, which is the same energy as God, the universe, source, whatever the words you want to use to describe that. So in that way, it is pure and infinite love, infinite wisdom, infinite compassion, and infinite everything, really. Infinite abundance, health, understanding, all the beautiful things that life has to offer. What's amazing is that when we know that we have this fourth version of ourselves, we have this component, this part of ourselves that I call your powerful spirit, your life can be changed forever, because you no longer have to search outside of yourself for the things that you actually naturally are. And so I wanted to share with you a very brief and easy way that you can connect with your powerful spirit right now. So let's begin a really gentle meditation exercise. I want you to begin by taking a deep breath. Become aware of your breathing and just allow yourself to be aware of the air as it moves in and out of your lungs. That's one breath. Let's do 3. 2, and the 3rd. I want you to become aware of any tension that might be resting in your body. Just notice it and very gently shift that part of your body. And as you do, know that that tension is leaving your body now. And one more deep breath and release. I want you to use now the power of your awareness. Become aware of your mind. Just focus and be aware that it exists and is part of who you are. As you breathe and rest your awareness on your mind, allow your heart to feel very delighted and excited for the miracle that is your mind. How exciting is that? To have a mind that can think and conceive and perceive. To have a mind that can conceptualize all that is now and all that can be. What a blessing. I want you now to take your awareness beyond your mind to your body. As you breathe, allow yourself to feel the delight in your heart of the series of miracles that is your body. I find this very exciting. Your body gives you so many experiences. With your eyes you can see, hands you can touch, ears you can hear. Your feet take you where you want to go. And your arms and your hands allow you to do so much. It's so exciting. Taking one more deep breath, just allow yourself to feel the joy and the wonder and the blessing of your body. Now, take yourself beyond your mind, your body, and have your awareness rest itself on the part of you that is your soul. Your magnificent soul. Your wondrous soul that moves effortlessly in and out of each lifetime. Your soul that stores the wisdom as you experience it in the physical. Your soul that understands, and your soul that ensures that the experiences that you've chosen for this lifetime take place. With each breath, allow your heart to feel the delight of the magnificence of your soul, for all that it gives you and all that it ensures that you experience. Yay! Now I want you to take your awareness beyond your mind, beyond your body, beyond your soul, and see radiating out from the core of your being through your mind, body, and soul out into infinity, this fourth energetic dimension of yourself. It is magical. It vibrates at the same energy as God, the universe, the source. It is, therefore, pure and infinite compassion. Can you feel it? Pure and infinite love, infinite wisdom, infinite intuition, infinite health, and infinite abundance. Feel the buzz of your powerful spirit. It's so exciting. Allow every element of your being, every cell in your body, every part of your energetic self to feel the delight and excitement to know that you are also your powerful spirit. I'm going to give you now a minute or two just to feel in your own silence the power of what you've just discovered. Enjoy. Okay, did you feel it? Could you feel the wisdom that you are? It is this wisdom, the wisdom of your powerful spirit, the feeling that you have right now as you experience yourself beyond your mind, body, soul, and spirit to your spirit. This feeling that you are the same energy as God, the universe source, that you vibrate at an infinite frequency of infinite love, compassion, abundance, wisdom, intuition. It's this feeling that has inspired me to create this radio show for you. It is this wisdom that's I believe led me to set an intention to be of service to you. Because if I can share with you an understanding of who you truly are, and that makes a difference in your day, or it makes a difference in your life, then I feel I have done a great thing. How does that feel? Now, what this means, so I want to finish that meditation. So I want to bring you back to your conscious mind so you can hear the rest of this radio show. Are you ready to come back? Bring the feeling that you've just experienced with you. Bring that into your awareness of now. You can carry that feeling with you all day. You can access that at any point. You simply just have to take yourself very quickly, and I do this all the time, just take a deep breath, and in an instant of a few seconds, take yourself through mind, body, soul, spirit, and you're there. Mind, body, soul, my powerful spirit. Because once you've felt it once, by going through this meditation exercise with me today, once you've felt it once, you're not going to want that. You can't let that feeling go. It just won't go. Once you've felt something once, it's now within your memory. And what that means is you can come back and access that at any time. So let's talk about how that works in the everyday world, because it's great to have this awareness and it's great to have this sensation of who you really are. Sensation. Huh. That's the thing of live radio. The words flow, and sometimes they're the right words and sometimes they're the misplaced words. Don't you love being human? So sometimes you have, in everyday life, sometimes you have an awareness. It's great to have all these concepts, right? It's great to have this awareness of who you are, and in your still moments of meditation, it's easy to connect with that feeling. But what about everyday life? Everyday life, because let's face it, you're driving in the car, you're going about your business, you're doing your work, you're parenting children, you're being in relationship with everyone else, and most importantly, yourself. And quite frankly, that can be quite an experience, right? So how this works on an everyday level is this. What you do is you can take yourself very quickly, just like I was just describing, in a matter of a moment. You can take a deep breath, and in a matter of a few seconds, you can take your awareness from mind, body, soul to your powerful spirit. Okay? You can instantly connect yourself to that feeling space. And when you do, you can be directly connected to all that you are. We're coming up to a break, and I want you to practice that. I want you to set the intention that today, or in the next 24 hours, as you go about your day, you will give yourself the opportunity to be in the busyness of your life and pause when something comes to you that is challenging or difficult, be it a small thing or a large thing, that you will take the opportunity to pause, take your awareness from mind, body, soul to spirit, and allow yourself to feel all that you are and know all that you are, and you will find some amazing changes for you in your everyday life. We're coming up to the break, and after the break, I'm here to answer your questions via my Facebook page, Katrina Cavanough, facebook.com/Katrina Cavanough. Please feel free to jump on there and ask any questions. But after the break, I'm going to talk about how this actually works in the everyday life. I'm looking forward to keeping on talking with you. I'm looking forward to sharing more with you. And I'm very, very grateful to have your time.
Free your mind. Expand your soul. OMTimes Radio. IOM FM.
Hi, this is Angela Levesque, host of Entanglement Radio. Join me Wednesdays at 12 p.m. Eastern for inspiring conversations with visionaries in spiritual science and conscious healing. Entanglement Radio, Wednesdays at 12 p.m. Eastern. Transcendent talk for the conscious mind.
Host your show on IOM FM, the radio network of OMTimes Media, one of the more recognized brand names in the conscious community, and is backed by the extensive marketing reach of OMTimes. Hosting a show on IOM FM immediately connects you with our extensive dedicated community. Are you trying to get from point A to point B and need a little advice? Connect with the counselors at OMTimes Advisors. Whether you're looking for a life coach or a spiritual intuitive, the advisors participating at advisors.omtimes.com were carefully chosen based on their gifts, skills, and professionalism. OMTimes Advisors, connecting you with the best advisors in the business.
Hi, my name is Monica and I'm the host of Co-Creating Now. Give yourself an opportunity to connect with your all-knowing higher self and manifest joy, love, and peace together every Tuesday, 11 a.m. Eastern.
The Real Conscious Connection. OMTimes Radio. IOM FM.
Hi, you're listening to I Am Wisdom with Katrina Cavanough, and today we're talking about the five wisdoms. Well, really, we're talking about the first wisdom, actually. And obviously, I'm obviously going to be talking with you about the other five wisdoms sprinkled out over time across the next few months of the show. So, the first wisdom that I'm talking to you about is the wisdom of your powerful spirit, and this is the wisdom that I believe holds one of the most profound truths about ourselves that really until I was given this information, I didn't really comprehend it. Of course, I'd heard, the reference of, referring to your higher self, connecting in with the wisdom of the universe and all that kind of thing. But I didn't actually ever conceptualize that a core of who I was the same energy as God, the universe, or, source. So that was really powerful to me to understand it. And what I understand is the way I understand it and the way I describe it is suitable for someone to hear it. So if you're listening to this show and you're still listening at this point, for me, what that means is you're meant to be hearing this message right now, because I don't believe in coincidences anymore, because there's been too many times when, I have actually, when I've had what looks like coincidences, but they've worked for me in the most amazing way. So today we're talking about your powerful spirit, and if you've just tuned in, essentially what I've just described is that we have this fourth energetic dimension of ourselves beyond our mind, our body, and our soul, and that is the fourth dimension, which is your powerful spirit. And I've just walked us through a brief exercise that only I really dragged it out. This is a short. I've got a meditation that I have online on Balance by Deborah Hutton here in Australia, and it's a longer version of that. But yet this is something that you can be guided through a process that takes 15-20 minutes if that's what you want, to allow yourself to really feel every minute, moment by moment experience of knowing that journey from your mind, body, soul, and spirit. Okay, and then once you arrive at the awareness of your spirit, your powerful spirit, to really take the time to immerse yourself in the feeling of knowing your powerful spirit. So I have a meditation that I have for that one. But the brief meditation I took you through then was a few minutes. What I would say to you though is that I want to give you everyday practical ways that you can implement your powerful spirit in your own life. And because there's no point going on with the concept of things. We're all living real lives, and we need to be able to access it pretty quickly sometimes. Certainly when we're distressed or something's facing us that's alarming for us, or even overwhelming for us, or making us feel angry or sad, or we're just perhaps grieving, or just, I should say just grieving, but we're grieving or we've experienced some great loss or trauma. At those times, they're the times that you want to be able to access this complete awareness of yourself and be able to access the power of your powerful spirit. Because the power of your powerful spirit is in the awareness that, like I've said previously, you don't have to go outside of yourself to connect with the magnificence of who you are. You don't have to go outside of yourself to access your own wisdom. You can, when you rest in that place of an awareness of that fourth energetic version of yourself, then as you rest in that awareness and you allow yourself to realize that I am love, I am compassion, I am infinite wisdom, the same vibration that the universe and God holds, that is me. When you rest in that awareness, that's the time to ask the intuitive question and allow your body to communicate the result, the answer. That's the time to really feel the love that you naturally are. Then once you connect in with an awareness of the love that you naturally are, it's easier to see that it radiates out through you to other people, that you are the essence of love. So what that means is when you're there in conflict with someone else, or when you're there in frustration with someone else, if you are to be aware of yourself as the love that you are, Be aware that despite what the physical and emotional and physical plane feelings are, if you're aware of yourself as love and just allow that love to emanate up and through and outward from you, then you can feel the state of giving love even in the face of difficult times. The most important person to give this love to is yourself. And what I mean by that is not necessarily to be giving the actual love to yourself, but what you're doing is you're giving yourself the awareness of the love that you naturally are. And you do that by simply just being in awareness of yourself and your powerful spirit. So when you're walking down the street or standing in the shop queue waiting and feeling that impatience, or perhaps you've just had a parenting moment that you're not proud of, like we all do as parents, or perhaps, you're feeling anxious about whether you're going to get a job, or you're feeling anxious about your finances, or you're feeling anxious about a relationship conflict, or you're not sure whether you need to be in a relationship or leave a relationship, or gosh, the list is endless, isn't it? When you're in those times when you do not feel comfortable in your own skin, when it's really hard to be you, that's the time to take a moment and ground yourself in the truth of your own powerful spirit. And let me show you quickly how you do that. It's a very quick process. You simply take one deep breath, take your awareness to your mind. It's like we've gone through before, but we're making the process faster. Take your awareness to your mind, take your awareness to your body, take your awareness to your soul, and then extend it out to your powerful spirit. In an instant, you'll be reminded of the feeling of your powerful spirit. You take another deep breath at that point. You rest your mind, body, and soul in the awareness of your powerful spirit. I'm going to say that sentence again. You take another deep breath at that point, and you rest your mind, body, soul in the awareness of your powerful spirit. And in the soft, nurturing place that is, you will feel safe, you will feel nurtured, and you will feel a deep knowing that all is well and all is exactly as it is meant to be right now for you to understand something about yourself, for you to understand something about your relationships, or perhaps understand something about the way the world operates and the way you are in the world. That's what's happening right now. And then once you're there, you can simply say, if you want, you could leave it at that and then go on with the day. Or you can just ask for clarity. Ask your spiritual team to work with you, to give you clarity while you're in that moment of peace. And you will receive it. You will receive it. Isn't that beautiful? That is beautiful. I love sharing that stuff. It's really, really powerful and I love it. That's why I have created an opportunity to work with me directly. I've created an opportunity to work with me directly in a course that I felt I needed to share with people. I, of course, run locally, on intuition and spiritual development courses. That's part of what I do. But I wanted to find a way to take the essence of the 5 wisdoms and this powerful knowledge of who we are to you, to people. I wanted it to change people's lives. And so I rested on that, and it came to me one day that the course that I needed to develop is the one that I've got on offer coming up. And that course is a really interesting course. It's interesting for me, and I'm the one facilitating it, because what it does is it combines several facets of the wisdoms and awareness of yourself. So let me explain. There's a course, I've called it Happiness to Healing, or Healing to Happiness, the New Spirituality. Because what it does is the first part of it is to connect yourself with an awareness of who you are. So of course that's your powerful spirit as I've just described it. The other thing that I know for sure and certain is that we have what I refer to as a spiritual team. They're not really a spiritual team, but that's, let's use those words because that's an easy way of describing them. So they are, your loved ones in spirit, certainly they're there, but it's your spiritual guides, your guardian angels, whatever words you want to use to describe God themselves, whatever. So, and they form a team, And they're the ones that communicate with you, work with you. They're the ones I work with all the time when I'm doing my writing, consultations, in my general life. They're the ones that have guided me through a healing process. So what I've done with this course is actually brought together the idea that to effectively apply new learnings and new understandings to our lives, we need to do it in a way that we're not alone. And I think for some people, they compartmentalize things. So they have, yep, I have an awareness of my spirituality over here. Yep, I have, I'm communicating with my spiritual team. I talk to my spiritual guides over here. And then over here in another section of my life, I read books that are of interest to me. I attend courses. And it's all about self-development. And I go to therapy, and it's quite segmented and quite compartmentalized. And what I wanted to do is bring all of that together in this really special course, because I believe that, because this is what I've experienced and what works with my individual coaching clients as well, is that when you are healing and creating new understandings and exploring new concepts with yourself alone, that's one thing. But when you're doing that with the support and guidance of your own spiritual team, then it absolutely magnifies the change in your life. It absolutely, what's the word? It is enormous. It is enormous, the change that can result in your life, because you're not working alone. You're working in consultation and with the support of your spiritual team. So this course is all about connecting you with your spiritual team. And once you're connected with your spiritual team, to work through the 5 wisdoms that I've talked about and there's many, many elements to the 5 wisdoms, to literally transform your life. And I know that word transform your life, or that phrase, is used a lot, but it's the best one I have to it's the best one I have to describe what happens. We're at the end of the show. If you're interested in that course, Healing to Happiness, the new spirituality,